Good morning. So let's do some more of my favorite morning stretches. Start by setting the mood. Light myself a candle. Often I would do these in the living room, but for today we'll do them in the office. I light myself a little candle. I have my water with me that I sip while I do this. And right now, my favorite thing to do is, and not all of us have bought our nieces and nephews one of these, I understand. So if you do not have something like this, you can just do the stretches flat on your back on the mat or carpet or wherever you're doing them. Maybe you're doing them in bed, that's okay too. If you want a little bit more, you could do them on a ball. You could also do it with your bolster long ways like this as well. If you want to kind of mimic that arc shape, you put your bolster and then put some blocks underneath it so that when you fold over it, you get that kind of same arc. And I just fold back over it. I like to do my cactus arms. Keep in mind that I've been doing this for over a month straight now, this stretch. When I first started doing my cactus arms, didn't feel great. It was a lot more tight. If that's where you're at right now, you could just focus on letting that chest open. You could hold your hands wherever's comfortable. They could just come down. Or again, if it feels okay for you, you can do your cactus. And we just breathe. Legs could be out nice and long if you want. They can be bent. Wherever they are, make sure that you're nice and relaxed. You're not tensing those hip flexor muscles. You're not tensing any ab muscles. Your pelvis is nice and loose and relaxed. And breathe. Big, deep inhales and exhales. Feel that chest expand and contract. Now, I say that these are my favorite morning stretches. If you don't like stretching in the morning, you could do these before bed. You can lay here as long as you want, as long as you have time for. If you don't have a lot of time, even 30 seconds is great. You just start to kind of feel everything open and soften. When you feel like you're ready to get up, really take your time. I like to fold my arms back in for a second. And you could either roll off the side, or I gently let my hips come down, hands behind my head, and let those hands slowly pull me up. Previously, I was getting stuck around here. Take a few breaths. Up a little bit more. Take a breath. And then come so that you're comfortable supporting your own head. I place hands under my knees and gently pull myself the rest of the way up. Pause for a few breaths as you let that settle. Roll out those shoulders. Gentle nods. Look side to side. Depending on how you're feeling, you can even do those chicken wing arms. Staying connected with that nice deep breath. Shake it out. I move this off to the side. Probably not going to use it again for now. I may not. I come up, hands behind my head, clasped, sitting up nice and tall. So if this is too much on your knees, you could roll up your mat or place a pillow or something underneath. If you're doing this in bed, it'll be nice and squishy. Feel like you're cupping that skull and pulling your neck nice and long. Big breath in, twisting one way. Exhale back to center. Inhale to the other. Exhale to center. Move with your breath, nice and deep. And you only need to do like 4 each side. We don't need to overdo this. Your next stretch, you could stay up tall like this to do your stretch. Or you can come back down. I'm going to come back down just because I think you can't see me if I'm any taller than that was. You're going to inhale up nice and tall. Feel like you're lifting up and out. Little bend. Exhale back to center. Let it go. Inhale up and over. Let it go. Really make sure we're coming up and over as opposed to, I know that I'm guilty of this, just coming over and bending and collapsing. One more. Shake it off. Not that aggressive shake that we do. Nice gentle roll. Other hand clasps back, holding that skull, helping to lift you up. Or maybe it's even there as a reminder and you're like, I'm not lifting my head. That's okay. Let it be a reminder to sit up tall. Closed ribs, right? That's my other thing I know, so it might be yours. Inhale up and over. And that was the last one. Let it go, shake it off. I still like a little cat-cow. See how you're feeling. If you're not feeling doing it from tabletop, you could just do it from seated. We're just getting that pelvis moving. And again, that movement in the shoulders. So if this doesn't feel good for you, you're in that tabletop, hands are nice and firm. And let it be kind of like a wave for you. So you tuck that chin to chest to start. Push out through that bra band, tuck tail. Inhale to unwind, untuck that tail. Heart starts to lift, head high. Move with your breath to reverse. And you might not get big movements at first. That's okay. I usually do 3 of these little waves in one way. And then I switch. So my exhale, I start to tuck the tail. Rounding vertebrae by vertebrae as much as I can. Pushing out through that bra band. Tuck chin. Unwind. I start to bring that head up. Heart starts to come forwards. And then that tail starts to release. I prefer to do these really slow in the morning. If you want to move a little more dynamically, you're welcome to. Last one. Come back to center. Big breath in and out. And we'll come into our child's pose. Knees wide, toes together. Stretch out nice and long, forehead on the mat. Breathe. Big inhales and exhales. Feel that chest rise and fall. Let those hips melt into your heels. Big breath in, stretch long. And out. Gently roll yourself up. And we'll come onto our back. Slow, gentle movements here. Right? We might have just got out of bed. Maybe we're still in bed when we do them. That works too. You know, one of my other favorite stretches is to have one leg long, hug the other knee in. We often do this on a roller. If you had a board like this, so you have your bolster out, you can put that under your hips as well. Being mindful of where your body's at to start the day or end the day. If you want, you can do that little drop. Knee to armpit. Back to center with your breath. Wherever you get a better stretch. So if you notice that you're not feeling any sort of stretch, say in your left hip flexor, your long leg, then I would add a little bit of height under those hips, just to open a little bit more. Big breath in and out. Gently switch sides. Big breath in. Exhale. All the air out. Hug and squeeze. One side might be tighter than the other, so you might have noticed that you didn't feel a stretch on that side, but you do on this side. So again, you're working with whatever's most comfortable for you. Breathing deeply. One more big breath in and out. Let those legs go. You're going to hug both knees in. One hand on either knee. We're going to do our little circles where we hold our knees and we just let those hips move freely. Right? We talked about that whole ball and socket thing. And you think about the movements that you do during the day. Reverse those circles. You're not letting your hips, you're probably also not letting your shoulders do a lot of these movements, so this just lets everything move freely. You're lubricating that joint for the day, or maybe you're lubricating it for bed, so that you get a nice restful sleep and you're not all tight and tense. Hug back in, squeeze tight. You would take a big breath, stretch fingertips to toe tips. Let it go. You can lay here as long as you want. Or you can gently make your way up. Carry on with your day. Maybe you're carrying on to bed. Wherever you are, I thank you for joining me.